Hey, Trevor Jones here from smsagent.blog. Thank you for joining me in this video. We're going to look at creating a storage account to hold the data which we will be exporting from Microsoft Graph using the Azure Automation account. And we'll be placing those CSV files into a container in blob storage. We will also create a custom role which gives the Azure Automation account just enough permissions to upload and update the CSV files in the storage account. You may already have a storage account you want to use, but in case you don't, I'm just going to walk through the process. So in the Azure portal, let's go to storage accounts and create a new one. I have a resource group already created that I'm going to use. And I'm going to give it a unique name. SMS agent SA01. And I'm going to place this in the UK South region. It's going to be a standard SKU and it just needs to be locally redundant. Let's click next. All these settings can basically remain the same. And review and create. Validation is passed, so let's create the account. Okay, it's going to take a few seconds to create it. Alright, and there we have the storage account created. Let's go to it. Now, we want to create a container first of all, so let's go to the containers blade and add a container, and I'm going to give it a name, patch my PC dash Power BI, and it's going to be a private access level. We don't need it to be public, so click create, and there's our new container. So in here is where we're going to upload our CSV files. So let's go back to the storage account. Now we want to create a custom role, and the reason we're going to do this is to give the automation account just the permissions it needs, nothing more, to upload CSV files into that container and update them in the future. So let's go to the access control blade. We're going to go to roles, and we're going to find a role called storage blob data contributor, this guy here. And let's go over to the right hand side, open the context menu and choose clone. So we're going to copy this role. And now we need to give it a name, so let's call it storage account reader and blob contributor. Okay. And click next. Now on the permissions, we need to add a couple of permissions and we need to remove a couple of permissions that we don't need. So first of all, let's add the ones that we need. So I'm going to search here for storage, and under Microsoft Storage, I'm going to search for storage accounts slash read, and there we go. Let's add this permission. Okay, and add one more permission, which is storage. So again, storage accounts slash list keys. Okay, that's the guy. And let's add that permission. Now there's a couple here that we don't need, so we can get rid of them. We don't need container delete. We don't need container writes. We don't need generate delegation keys. And we do need the rest. So let's keep all those. Notice the assignable scope is the storage account, which is good. Let's click next, and next, and create. Okay. Okay, so back on the check access page of the access control blade, let's go to grant access to this resource and add a role assignment. Now we're going to select the role that we just created, which is here, and then next. Now you might think that we'd use the managed identity option since that's what we're adding, but actually the Azure Automation Account is not a supported service for adding a managed identity at this time. So we still have to use the user group or service principal. So let's click select members, search for our automation account identity. There we go, automation 01, and add it in. Okay, and we're done. So we've given the Azure Automation account the permission it needs to upload and update the storage account with the data exported from Microsoft Graph as CSV files. That's it for this video. Thank you for joining me.